Rabbeinu Bechaya brings down that when there's going to be Tchias HaMesim, eventually this is there's Yemei Moshiach, and then later will be Tchias HaMesim. And then he brings down a medrash that Basa B'cholov will become mutter, will be bottle. There won't be any more the Isser Basa B'cholov. I'll ask you, is Basa B'cholov, it's Kalaim, it's Osir, because you're losing the individuality of what each one is? Or is it because they're just opposites and they can't get together? So the Rebbe says it's somewhere in the middle, because putting two seeds together or breeding two animals together, you're actually changing the essence of their being. Their whole potential is becoming different. Their children are going to be a whole different species. You're changing the essence of it. Shatnez, you're not changing anything of it. Basa B'cholov, the Rebbe says, is somewhere in the middle. On one hand, it's not you're cooking it together, so it actually becomes one in a certain sense. The milk and meat actually permeate each other. On the other hand, it's not to the extent that it permeates the essential being of it. This is the point that Rebbe is saying. In order for Kalayim to be mutter, you need two conditions. The first condition is that you can't be destroying. If you're destroying something the Eibishter made, you're saying a man is not a man, or a orange is not an orange anymore. I want to destroy it. I want it to become a grapefruit. If you want to destroy, that has nothing to do with, it's against the Torah. Hashem says you're going against my will. You're destroying what I made. That's the first condition. And that there's no heter for that. So the second thing is, okay, each thing will remain who they are, now let them work together. For that you need Hashem in the picture. Similar to Shatnez. Just like Shatnez is mutter in the Beis HaMikdash. Shatnez is mutter for tzitzis. So too, when the Eibusher will be revealed, will be total Kedusha, like by the Malachim or by Tchias HaMesim. So then we'll be able to mix two things together, because Eiseh Shalom B'Mreima, when the Eibusher is in the picture, two opposites could remain and work together. So the Rebbe says, this that Basa B'cholov will be mutter when Mashiach comes. So that makes a lot of sense, because when Mashiach, actually by Tchias HaMesim, because being that Hashem is revealed, you can combine two opposites. But the Rebbe asks on that's still not enough. Because by Basa B'cholov, you're not just combining two opposites, but in a certain sense, you're destroying the previous identity. Because there's no longer Basa, there's no longer Cholov, it became a new identity of Basa B'cholov. And for that, there's no heter whatsoever. If you're destroying an identity, there's no heter al pi Torah. So how could it be that there'll be a time that Basa B'cholov will be mutter? So for that, the Rebbe explains that being the Basa B'cholov is only destroying the external identity, not the internal identity, because you're only cooking two things together, but in essence, each thing still remains who they are. On a very deep level, because they're already finished products. So you're only affecting them on an external level. On a very deep level, you're not affecting them. But by Tchias HaMesim, we're going to see everything on a very deep level. And there, we're not destroying. And therefore, it's going to be mutter.